What if a single peptide could reattach a severed tendon, override steroid damage, and heal your gut lining, all backed by decades of studies? You've heard the BPC-157 hype, but today we're cutting through it to see what the science actually says. BPC-157 is a synthetic pentadecapeptide, just 15 amino acids, derived from a protective protein naturally found in human gastric juice. It's stable even in stomach acid, which is why both injectable and oral forms are discussed. It was first isolated in the early 1990s, with much of the foundational work coming from Croatian researchers. At its core, BPC-157 acts as a broad repair signal, not a drug that forces one pathway, but something that nudges multiple systems toward healing. Key mechanisms include promoting angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels through VEGF, and nitric oxide modulation, increasing growth hormone receptors in connective tissues and fibroblasts, supporting fibroblast migration and collagen organization via the FAK-Paxillin pathway, modulating inflammation by reducing excess cytokines while preserving the acute healing response, and providing cytoprotection by strengthening tight junctions and reducing oxidative stress. Think of it like a foreman on a construction site. It calls in the right resources, directs blood flow where it's needed, keeps inflammation from becoming chaos, and helps ensure the rebuild is high quality, not just fast. BPC-157 is often the foundational piece in some of the most talked about peptide stacks out there. Pair it with TB-500 and you get what's commonly called the Wolverine stack, focused on broad injury repair and systemic recovery.
This could change everything.
Add GHK copper to that and it becomes Glow, layering in more tissue remodeling and skin level benefits, which we covered in detail in previous videos. Then bringing in KPV for extra inflammation control turns Glow into Klow. These combinations build on each other logically, but today we're zeroing in on BPC-157 itself, what it does on its own, where the evidence overlaps, and what to know. Instead of listing every claim out there, let's focus on what consistently shows up across independent sources, practitioner discussions, and literature reviews. The strongest overlap is accelerated musculoskeletal and soft tissue healing, tendons, ligaments, and muscles, with better collagen organization, improved biomechanical strength, and functional recovery. Next is promotion of angiogenesis and better blood flow to damaged or low vascular areas. Then inflammation modulation, reducing chronic or excessive responses while keeping the necessary acute healing signals intact. Plus, gut and mucosal protection and healing also appear reliably, from ulcers and NSAID damage to supporting barrier integrity. And finally, overall tissue resilience and cytoprotective effects across multiple organs. These are the recurring themes when we strip away individual emphasis and look for signal. The evidence is heavily preclinical. Animal studies dominate, with strong, replicated results worldwide. In rat models, BPC-157 accelerated Achilles tendon reattachment after complete detachment, up to 60% faster healing, superior collagen quality and biomechanics, and it overrode the negative effects of corticosteroids. Muscle crush or transection injuries showed faster regeneration, reduced fibrosis, and restored contractile function. Gut models consistently demonstrated mucosal protection against ulcers, NSAID toxicity, and IBD-like damage. Other notable findings include improved bone defect healing in rabbits and advanced recovery from spinal cord compression in rats. Safety in animals is remarkably clean. No toxicity or lethal dose achieved even at very high levels, with rapid metabolism and no organ accumulation. Human data is sparse and preliminary. Small retrospective reports show pain relief in chronic knee cases lasting over 6 months with intra-articular use. A pilot in interstitial cystitis resolved symptoms in women after intravesical administration. An IV safety pilot found doses up to 20 milligrams well tolerated with no adverse biomarker changes. There are no large randomized controlled trials yet, and one phase 1 oral IV study was started but never published. Cautions are important here. The angiogenesis promotion via VEGF raises a theoretical concern. Could it support tumor growth if subclinical cancer is present? That's a valid question, given parallels to anti-VEGF cancer therapies. On the other hand, some models show BPC-157 selectively modulates rather than indiscriminately promotes pathological angiogenesis, and there's no direct human evidence of increased cancer risk. Other practical risks include unregulated sources potentially carrying contaminants, its WADA banned status in sports, and the simple fact that long-term human safety remains unknown. If you're considering research, cancer screening for high-risk individuals and short-term use for stubborn issues may make sense. On dosing, and this is purely investigational with no official guidelines. Practitioner and literature overlaps commonly reference subcutaneous or intramuscular 250 to 500 micrograms per day, often split into 1 or 2 doses. Oral, preferably the arginate salt for better absorption, 500 to 1,000 micrograms per day. Cycles are typically discussed as 4 to 8 weeks. For more common ranges and overlaps, check the free Wellness Elevation Guide to Peptides, link in the description. From my own research lens, many people report noticeable shifts in recovery baselines or nagging issues fading. But these are anecdotal observations, one data point in a much larger conversation. Bottom line, BPC-157 shows compelling preclinical signals for repair and resilience, with human data emerging but still limited. It's promising enough to warrant continued investigation, but it demands an eyes-open approach. If this helped clarify BPC-157, consider subscribing to Wellness Elevation for more investigative dives like this. Hit like if it was useful, drop a comment with your thoughts, experiences, or even skepticism. These conversations matter. And if you know someone navigating recovery options or peptide questions, please share the video. Quick note, I've also launched OPP, Optimized Performance Peptide, t-shirts, hats, and hoodies built for the peptide community. It's a fun nod to the classic 90s track, but focused on quality gear for people serious about optimization. Check it out if you're into that vibe, link in the description. The free Wellness Elevation Guide to Peptides is there too. Grab your copy. As always, this is investigative and educational content, not medical advice, to help you think more clearly, ask better questions, and decide what's worth exploring further for yourself. I'll see you in the next one.